Now you look as tall as me. Hey, it's Sue.
And Megan, the Spine Breakers.
And we're doing a end of the year TBR today.
So we're going to talk about the books that we want to close out 2018 with.
Yes.
Yes.
Because we're really good at sticking to TBRs.
I know, I went to pick mine and I was like kind of arbitrarily pulling things that like sounded interesting to me. I was like,
I tried to, well, there's one on here that I'm buddy reading with someone, so I know I'm going to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Now I feel so short. Just look how much further down I am than you.
Welcome to my life.
I don't like it. I like being tall.
I'm a tall bitch now. We're going to drink this Alpha Pale Ale from Torn Label Brewing Company.
Yup.
Which
is from Kansas City.
Casey Mo.
Kansas City Star. That's what I are. Anybody know Roger Miller? Nope, just me. Okay.
Nope. Fuck it.
I might have to take a couple. It's I don't hate it, but I don't love it. It has a weird flavor. It says it's the ultimate IPA in disguise.
I don't think it's in disguise, really. I think it tastes pretty hoppy-ish.
Yeah, well, it says it's a hoppy pale ale.
Noodle.
He's like, I can't make it up here. You're so tall. Oh, okay.
Little bastard. Skips Mimi, goes right to Aunt Susan.
Okay.
Fuck you, Mimi.
All right. So, we'll see how we feel about that.
How we feel about that beer. Yeah.
So, Murphy, what's your end of year TBR?
What are you wanting to read, Bud?
What's that noise?
The door, to the laundry room, the dryer's on, like it changes so the door wobbles back and forth.
Oh, there was a ghost.
My house is haunted. So the first book I intend to finish this year, I already started it, is Blackout by Mira Grant. This is the third book in the Newsflesh trilogy. Newsflesh. And let me just read the back to you because it sounds pretty fucking epic to me. The conspiracy that rules post-zombie America is alive and well. The same can't be said of the bloggers who dared to tell the truth as they found it. Now, with too much left to do and not much time left to do it in, Sean Mason and his team must face mad scientists, zombie bears, and rogue government agencies. And if there's one thing they know is true in post-zombie America, it's this. Things can always get worse.
Zombie bears?
Zombie
sounds like
motherfucking bears.
Sounds like my first pick. Which is World War Moo, which has been on my TBR all motherfucking year.
Forever.
I think I've had this on at least 2 other TBRs this year and still haven't read it. But I'm gonna do it. Murphy just got slobber on it.
Moods. Did you slobber on her book?
But this is the sequel to Apocalypse Cow by Michael Logan, wherein all mammals except humans are zombies. And it follows 3 different people trying to survive, and they kind of team up during this zombie apocalypse.
Nervous.
Thank you for your input. But I loved the first one. I loved Apocalypse Cow so much. I fucking love that book. So, I just really need to read the sequel, but I've been putting it off. Why do I do that, Murphy?
I don't know it, Susan.
So, I would need to read this.
I would like to read Survivor by Octavia Butler. This is kind of her disowned novel, and I'd like to read it because I'd like to know why. Also, this was a very expensive book.
Yes. We both bought a copy, and it wasn't cheap, honey.
No, honey. It was expensive. Expensive.
Alright, so next on my list, I have so many classics that I haven't read, and I had a goal this year to read the oldest books on my shelf, and I kind of failed at it.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't read many of them, but this is one of them. And it's a classic, and it's the picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I just picked this one because I thought it would be an interesting one, and it's kind of short, so I was like, I think I can knock that one out by the end of the month.
Yeah.
By the end of the year, rather. And this, as far as I can know, is about like a guy who is very vain.
A guy. You said that super northernly.
A guy who's very vain and doesn't want to age, and he has like a portrait painted of himself that ages for him, or something like that. But I've mostly heard that it's good.
I would like to read All the Birds in the Sky by Charlie Jane Anders, because it just sounds kind of weird. An ancient society of witches and a hipster technological startup are going to war as the world tears itself apart. To further complicate things, each group's most promising follower may just be in love with each other. So it's a battle between magic and science.
Sounds cool.
It sounds pretty cool to me.
So I lately have had an issue where all I want to read is porny fan fiction. And I think it's just because, I don't know why, but I just want to read like happy love stories right now. And most of the books on my shelf are not happy love stories.
Yeah.
But I do have this novel.
Oh, hell.
Called Tempted by a Warrior by Amanda Scott. And so I thought this might scratch my itch.
It might.
Because I've been reading a lot lately, but none of it is like counting toward my goals or anything, because it's all just been like random fan fictions online and stuff. And so I've only finished one book this month.
Same.
So I'm like, maybe this is what I need, is like a sexy romance novel set in, you know, the Scottish Highlands, I think.
You could read Beards in Bondage.
I thought about getting that.
They're pretty cheap on, well, I mean, they're on Kindle, they're pretty cheap, but you know, Kindle.
I'd have to read it on my phone,
Yeah.
so that might suck, but I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Romance novels are not always the most
quality, or
not quality. I mean, well, it sounds like it might piss me off. Well, maybe not, because it says her cruel and womanizing husband has vanished into the battle-scarred Scottish borderlands without a trace, and everyone thinks Fiona is to blame. So she falls in love with another man, who's not her cruel husband.
Cruel.
So we'll see, because that's the thing with romance novels that sometimes bothers me, is that they are kind of problematic. They're often problematic, I'll say.
That works.
So we'll see about that one.
So I have Sing Unburied Sing by Jesmyn Ward. And I had read about this book, and then it came up in an article. It was like books to read for your Hogwarts house.
Oh, really?
Or no. It was either the Hogwarts house or books to read for your Myers-Briggs type. One of the two. And it was in that. And so I thought, well, I have that, and it sounds really good, so I'd like to read it. I think it involves some magical realism. It's a portrait of a family as they journey, or as they're living in Mississippi. So it goes through Mississippi's past and present, and I believe it talks about some race issues. But there's a ghost in it. At a penitentiary, there's another 13-year-old boy, the ghost of a dead inmate, who carries all the ugly history of the South with him in his wandering. So it's about this 13-year-old boy, Jojo, who's learning about life, I guess, and yeah, I don't know. It sounded interesting, and I've heard really good things about it.
My next one has also been on my TBR all year, but I'm planning to buddy read it with Amber from Amber Unabridged. So I should get this one done by the end of the year.
So
and that is Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler.
Queen Octavia.
Yeah, and this is a like dystopian novel. It says when unattended environmental and economic crises lead to social chaos, not even gated communities are safe. And I think it's about a girl who's kind of trying to survive in this world.
Man, that book is so good. The second one made me cry, and really? I am not a book crier at all. I'm not a crier, really. But man, some good stuff. Queen Octavia just knows. She gets me.
She gets all of us.
She gets life. Like, she gets it. So the last book that I'm going to try to finish by the end of the year is Possessing the Secret of Joy by Alice Walker. Because I read The Color Purple this year, and I fucking loved it. Like, loved it. 5-starred it. It was brilliant. And this book is about, it's not a sequel to that book, but it is about a character who is in The Color Purple, and it tells her story.
Oh, really?
It's about Tashi.
Okay.
So, yeah, I thought that would be really cool. Also, it says that she's treated by disciples of both Freud and Carl Jung, and even by Jung himself, to address some trauma, you know, because of some things that I don't want to spoil it, some things that she went through. And Carl Jung is like my favorite of the classic psychologists. So
really,
I was like, this is going to be awesome.
You should read that.
So many different ways.
I think I gave you that book.
You did.
That's Sabina Spielrein.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. And I want to read it. Okay,
my last one is another one that I thought would help, you know, maybe be a slump buster for me. It is Sourdough by Robin Sloan. I got this in a book of the month forever ago. And I'm not sure what it's about. It has something to do with a bakery and bread.
I like bread. Bread's cool.
But it says Lois is a software programmer, blah, blah, blah. These brothers that own this bakery close up shop, and they give Lois their last sourdough starter. And so she has to keep it alive and learn how to bake with it. And there's other things involved too.
There's other things. Yes.
I'm not going to go into it, but it sounded like a fun, kind of a fun one, hopefully.
Yeah, that sounds kind of fun. So, I mean, you know how we are with TBRs.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what
we'll do our best. I definitely, like, the two I really the most want to get read are Parable of the Sower and World War Moo. But I might read either Sourdough or Tempted by a Warrior next, just because I've been in like such a slump.
That's why I've been reading zombie novels, because I read the second book in this series. Like, that's the only other book I've finished this month. I haven't finished any books this month except for that one. But it was long. It was like 500 and something pages, so you know.
I spent all last night just binge watching Netflix. But I watched some good stuff, so I don't regret it.
Check it out. Taller than you are right now.
Let me perk up my ponytail.
Oh, hold on just one second.
Yeah, I do not care for this beer.
I'm not loving it.
It just tastes like bitter hoppiness, but also weirdly at the same time tastes watered down. Like, I don't even know how that's possible.
No, it's kind of, that's kind of how it is. Like, it's both hoppy and weak at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like somebody just threw like some hop flavor in like a American Pilsner or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it just leaves like a really bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
So, not a fan. Sorry.
Not loving it. Sorry, torn
label. Sorry, torn label. Let us know if you've read any of these books, what you thought of them.
Yes.
Let us know if you have any books on your end of year TBR that you want to get knocked out. And thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.